Hello, everybody. It's Yolie Medina here to talk about the Kohberger case again. So, I've been asked about the motion in limine to exclude the witness's description regarding bushy eyebrows. And this would be DM, one of the roommates that was allegedly in the house when the unalivings occurred in this case. So there were two roommates, DM and BF. And DM has allegedly described somebody in the house with bushy eyebrows and a mask. She also described the height and how he was athletically built. So the defense now wants to exclude her description of bushy eyebrows. And because the defense is saying that, the description itself might have an effect on the jury. If they look at Bryan Kohberger, they might see bushy eyebrows and think he's the one. Now, I don't think that Bryan Kohberger has bushy eyebrows. I mean, he might to some people, but I just wanted to go over the motion for you guys, for those who are asking about this, because people are asking me about why would the defense want to do that. That's like the linchpin in this case. And she was unreliable, so it would just be more ammunition to cross-examine her. But let me show you the screen. The actual motion. And this case gets more and more bizarre as time goes on, but the judge is starting to lift the gag order or the non-dissemination order, and certain things are becoming public. So now we have the testimony, or not testimony, but statements that are transcribed that are part of this motion. So I'm just going to read this, that the defense asserts that rules 401, 403, 601, and 602 of the Idaho Rules of Evidence bar witness Dylan Mortensen from using the words bushy eyebrows or identifying Mr. Kohberger in that manner. Well, she never really identified Mr. Kohberger. She just identified somebody with bushy eyebrows and a mask. So, and I'm going down here to this highlighted area because it says that the issue of witness identification is a crucial one in a trial that is subject of much litigation. That is because the reliability of witness identification is the linchpin in determining the admissibility of the identification information. So the reliability, what does that mean? Is how reliable is the witness's testimony? In this case, the witness DM has stated that she was intoxicated and that she didn't remember. She said a lot of things, and we're going to go over that in just a minute. But one of the reasons why the defense filed this motion is because a failure to challenge unreliable witness identification can result in a finding that trial counsel's performance was deficient and provide a basis for overturning a conviction. So counsel doesn't want to be seen as inefficient or, not proficient in defending him. So that's why they're bringing this motion. Now, I don't know if the judge is going to exclude the statements by DM that the intruder had bushy eyebrows. I tend to think not, but I will just go through this with you guys. So they do say in this motion, it says, in this case, the description provided by DM is unreliable and should be excluded, although she has never identified Mr. Kohberger. Testimony by DM from the witness stand describing bushy eyebrows while Mr. Kohberger sits at the accused trial will be as damning as her pointing to him and saying he is the man that did this. But I don't think so. She couldn't identify him in a photo when she looked him up. But let's look. There's a 5-part test or a factors that the judge is going to look at to decide whether this testimony about the bushy eyebrows is going to be admissible. So they go through the 5 factors, but I'm not going to bore you with that. So some of the information, it says interviews on November 13th, 2022. Some of this information is narratives by the officer, which I'm not going to go over. I just want to go over the transcripts of what DM said. So where there's transcripts, I'm going to talk about that. So here we have, I'm just going to read it starting here. More than 8 hours after seeing the intruder, DM was interviewed by law enforcement at the scene and the police department. It was confusing to DM that the intruder looked at her but did not come towards her or say anything. And that is from Nunez's body cam transcript. And it continues. And so when it says id here, that means that it's continuing with the body cam transcript. So it continues. When describing the intruder to Officer Nunez at the scene, she described the height, build, and clothing of the intruder. Her description did not mention eyebrows. When she called Bethany before going downstairs to Bethany's room, DM said that she was kind of in and out of it. I was really tired. So later, she's interviewed by Detective Mowry, and that's a transcript of the interview that they're referring to in the motion. It says later, when she was interviewed at the police department, Detective Mowry inquired about facial features and asked DM if she knew what color the intruder's eyebrows were. Well, I mean, I sort of understand why he would have asked her that, because there were some people that were around the crime scene in the area that's called the Banfield area, where police stopped them. And there was one guy that really had black bushy eyebrows. So perhaps Detective Mowry was trying to find out the color of the intruder's eyebrows, because this person who was at the Banfield had black bushy eyebrows. So that may be why he asked it in that way. Because that's a weird question. What color were the intruder's eyebrows? But there's also another reason why he may have asked her that, and we'll get into that in just a little bit. Okay, then it goes on. She did not know the color of the intruder's eyes or eyebrows. Well, I'll tell you what, if she had seen this guy on the Banfield, she would have known they're black. So she doesn't know the color. So, and then it says, everything was kind of blurry. I don't fully remember it. During the Mowry interview, DM again mentioned that she was in and out of it because she was so tired. So there goes the reliability of her testimony. She was in and out. She doesn't remember things. So her reliability is not good. And she was also drunk. She admits that somewhere in here. Which college students, they get drunk on the weekend. And that's neither here nor there, but it happens. So not all college students, but when they're in a sorority and that house was a party house, that was the type of things they would do on the weekend, it seems like. Anyway, so apparently there were pictures taken on November 13th, and they were pictures of DM's room. Okay. And here's where it gets truly bizarre. So it's like you can't make this up. It's just something stranger to make this case stranger than strange. So it says they took pictures. Why did they take pictures of DM's room? Because they thought it was relevant. And that's what I would like to know is, why did they take pictures of her artwork in her room? Why was that important? I mean, was there like red stuff on there? Why was that important? Well, let's see. It says, on the walls in her room were many pictures of eyes with prominent eyebrows, many of which she had drawn, meaning Dylan. Some of the eyebrows are heavy, voluminous, puffy, or perhaps subjectively bushy. I'd like to see those pictures, but anyway. According to Detective Lake, he found artwork of human figures with an emphasis upon the eyes and eyebrows that were pinned to cork boards. Okay, that's just bizarre to me. So when Detective Mowry asked her what color of the eyebrows the intruder had, and she said she didn't know, perhaps he was asking her because he thought that maybe she would focus on eyebrows since she had all this artwork about, artwork depicting bushy eyebrows and eyes and eyebrows. I don't know. But it's interesting that they took pictures of that. And I would want to know why. Why was that important? I mean, it had to be important if they took pictures of it. Anyway. Okay, so then on November 17, 2022, which is 4 days after the unalivings, it says she talked to a Detective Goosh and indicated that she was really sleepy and probably very drunk when she woke up around 4 a.m. on November 13th, 2022. So there goes again the reliability of her testimony. And, while it's obvious that her reliability is not good because she's admitting she was drunk, she was tired, everything was a blur. So why exclude just the bushy eyebrows? Why not exclude her entire testimony? Well, she can't exclude her entire testimony because she's allegedly a witness. She was there. She saw somebody there. But the defense has to do everything in their power to defend Bryan Kohberger, and that involves challenging witnesses' testimony. Now, I don't know if this is going to get granted, like I said, but it's something that they have to do. So, and I'm going by transcripts because these are transcripts. When it says 3, like it says, Motion in Limine Exhibit 6, Goosh and Blaker interview, and it has page numbers, and then it has a footnote 3. That footnote 3 says the full transcript of the November 17th interview by Detective Goosh was attached to the amended memorandum in support for a Franks hearing as Exhibit D8C at pages, and then it gives the pages. So this is a transcript. This is what she said. So it says, throughout the interview, DM expressed uncertainty about what she heard and saw and did not know if it was real or if it was a dream or if her mind was playing with her. Again, unreliable witness testimony. And then she says, it just doesn't make sense. DM described the intruder and told Detective Goosh that she recalls seeing his eyebrows, his bushy eyebrows, but she did not recall the color of the eyebrows. Well, to me, it sounds like she's trying to stick to her story. Not that it's a story, it may be true, but there's other information like text messages, her text messages with the other roommate, surviving roommate, BF, that may call into question this, but we're not going to go into that. But so anyway, so again, unreliable, and then it goes on. She did not remember the eyes or the mouth, just the eyebrows. Okay. When she saw the intruder, she thought that the intruder was about 3 feet away from her, but that could be off since she was still a little bit drunk. Okay, she was drunk. She's admittedly saying that she was a little bit drunk. That automatically calls into question the reliability of what she saw. And it's not I'm not saying anything negative about her. I'm just saying that factually, if she was somewhat drunk, a little bit drunk, that could impair her ability to give reliable testimony. So then she says she did not think that she could remember enough to give a composite for a composite artist. So she didn't remember enough to tell an artist exactly what she saw. So that's telling. Then it says, in this interview, Detective Goosh asked if DM had anxiety, which led to DM stating, that she had a lot of lucid dreams of being kidnapped or chased. She indicated that she watched Criminal Minds and fell asleep to crime podcasts. These lucid dreams began in high school. So I don't know why they would ask her if she had anxiety. That would be interesting to know, to ask Detective Gooch. Why did you ask her if she had anxiety? What relevance is that? I don't know. But certainly maybe anxiety is linked to sleep disturbances, and perhaps this detective was thinking, could she have been sleepwalking? I don't know. I'm just posing the question as to why ask her that. In any event, let's move on. Okay, so then on December 1st, a half of a month later, she was interviewed again, and she described the intruder. And so she says she did not see his eyes, but she saw one eyebrow or two. But it was just like this bushy eyebrow. I could just see it like an eyebrow, this bushy eyebrow. So now she's talking about seeing one bushy eyebrow. And granted, she was drunk, but she also has artwork in her room of bushy eyebrows. So I don't know, but perhaps, and this is total speculation on my part, but it's speculation based on what she's saying. It could have been that, she was drinking in the early morning hours or the night before, and maybe she was drugged and she was just out of it, because to me what she's describing doesn't sound like she's drunk. But in any event, I don't know anything about that. I'm just thinking out loud, and it's total speculation. It's not a fact. I'm just thinking that might be something that happened. So then she goes on and she says she did not remember the color or shape of the eyebrow. She just remembered it being bushy. She did not remember if she saw one eyebrow or two. So that, it goes to her reliability. And then it says, throughout the interview, DM indicated that she had always had really bad dreams, lucid dreams, and scary dreams. She did not know what parts of her recollection were dreams and what parts were real. So there again, her reliability is not that great. It's not great at all. So it says when she woke up that morning of November 13th, 2022, she did not fully understand what was a dream or not. In the interview, she indicated that she thought the person she saw was a fireman. Okay. So she's all over the place. And so that's not to disparage her. It's just to say that she's not reliable. And then the interview on December 30th, this was after the arrest of Bryan Kohberger. It says, on December 30th, 2022, after the arrest of Mr. Kohberger, DM was interviewed by Detective Lake and Detective Tollison. When she learned that an arrest had been made, she found a mugshot of Mr. Kohberger online. When asked if Mr. Kohberger was the person that she saw in the house, she did not know if Mr. Kohberger was the intruder. She knew that the intruder had looked at her because of the bushy eyebrows. Or eyebrow, I should say. So again, she didn't identify a picture of Mr. Kohberger, and I'm just wondering if they did a lineup once he was arrested to see if she could identify him by height, or, if it gave her any indication of who that was. But we don't know if there was a lineup. It just says she looked at a picture online of Mr. Kohberger. So in all, it says all that she remembered is some bushy eyebrow and all black and some sort of mask. Okay. So she did provide grand jury testimony. Now, when the grand jury met and she gave the testimony, the defense is not allowed to be in the grand jury. So she probably was not cross-examined the way that a defense attorney would cross-examine her. So in the grand jury testimony, she was again uncertain, and that testimony is attached but not quoted verbatim here. And that's because the grand jury proceedings are secret, and whatever she testified to is sealed. It's secret because it was part of the grand jury. Anyway, so in terms of why the defense brought this motion, it's because she has to. She has to bring this Ann Taylor has to bring this motion because it's her duty. And while I understand people thinking, well, why not let it in and she can cross-examine her on it? And that might happen. It might totally come in as evidence. The judge might say, no, it's part of her recollection or whatever. It should come in. But she has to do this because if she doesn't challenge this unreliable testimony on every single level, beginning a motion in limine to exclude this as prejudicial because the bushy eyebrows is just going to make the jury look at Bryan Kohberger and see bushy eyebrows, even though I don't think he has bushy eyebrows, but other people may stick in their head. So that's why she brought the motion. And I don't know. I'm curious to see if the judge will exclude it. I don't think he will because it's all a part of what she said. So anyway, those are my thoughts. And let me know if you think what you think about it, about the bushy eyebrows being talked about in trial. It'd be interesting to know what you think. But please do not disparage DM in the comments. That's all I ask, because I've never met her. I've never met her. I have no basis to say anything about her other than what she testified or what her statements are that are in the transcripts. So if you say something negative about DM, I'm going to delete it. So just, in the comments, just be respectful and let me know what you think about this testimony, whether it should be included in her when she testifies at trial or should it be excluded. Anyway, that's it for now. Thank you for watching. Bye.